Welcome to Anne's Wonderful Words of Wisdom on Wednesday. The question for you today is, how do you transmute your sex energy? We're talking about the principle of sex transmutation from the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And the mystery of sex transmutation is the proper title of the principle. Napoleon Hill calls it the 10th step toward riches. But my question again today for you, regardless of when you're looking at this, whether it's live on YouTube, and by the way, please remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's Ann McNeil. Yes, I am Ann McNeil, the Master Wealth Builder, helping you to build a stronger and better life and business with these principles. There's 13 principles in the book Think and Grow Rich, espoused by Napoleon Hill. But the principle we're discussing today on Anne's Wonderful Words of Wisdom is the principle of the transmutation of your sex energy. And the word transmute, the author tells us, is just purely changing of energy from one form to another. Now, how do you transfer or transmute that sex energy from one form to what else? Well, my Anne's Wonderful Words of Wisdom today is to encourage you to consider sitting for ideas. Sitting for ideas, what is that? Well, in the principle, the author shares that genius is developed through the sixth sense. But how do you develop the sixth sense, which is a part of tapping into that energy, which we call sex energy, creativity, creative energy? Well, the story is told that Dr. Gates sat for ideas. Elmer L. Gates is actually what his name was. He was paid handsomely by individuals and corporations to sit for ideas. And I don't know about you, but I've done this exercise for many years, sitting for ideas. And what he explains is that he would go into a room, no light anywhere coming into the room, just a chair and a table and a pad and a pen. And he would focus on a client's problem or issue or whatever it was he wanted to solve. And he would sit in silence, sitting for ideas, sometimes for hours. But then it happens. All of a sudden, the answers began to come just like this, over and over, creative ideas. But what about you? How do you transmute that energy into creative ideas and then act on the ideas? As I was preparing for the podcast and just really thinking back, I began to think about the subconscious mind and how it impacts my own thinking and how ideas would come when I am quiet, sitting in silence, early in the morning as an early riser. Yes, very early. But that's another podcast for another day. But then I began to focus my energy and my thoughts on a particular situation. And all of a sudden, the ideas would come, and I would write and write and write. I also think back to one of my other favorite books entitled The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, where she talks about her morning pages, sitting for ideas, morning pages. I personally call mine a daily date with myself. What do you do? What do you call it? How do you sit for ideas and transmute that energy day or night? Doesn't matter, single, married, it's not about that. It is about being able to transform that energy from one form to another. Inspired ideas, hunches, whatever you want to call it. I really want to encourage you as you think about Anne's wonderful words of wisdom. Consider, actually, I'll even give you a challenge. I'm challenging you to consider starting tomorrow morning. Just sit for ideas just a little while and see what comes up with a pen and a pad. Think about it, sitting for ideas. Well, this is Anne's Wonderful Words of Wisdom talking about the ideas of how do you transmute your energy from one form to another by sitting for ideas. And until next time, remember to continue to, yes, think